Welcome to Power Fridays Live, the channel that aims to make a difference in the world through transformation, spiritual growth, and for entrepreneurs. Our vision is to empower individuals to live their lives with purpose and to make a positive impact on the world. We believe that power and purpose are the driving forces behind success and fulfillment in both personal and professional life. Through our broadcast, we discuss business strategies and techniques that can help entrepreneurs achieve their goals and take their business to the next level. We believe that through sharing knowledge and experience, we can empower each other to succeed and make a difference in the world. Now here's our host, Janel, Pulley.
Good afternoon, September 1st, 2023. I'm your host, Janel Pulley. I am super excited that you joined me this evening, and we are ready to get started here. It's September 1st, and I want to share with you something that's near and dear to my heart. It's about life insurance. September is Life Insurance Awareness Month, and with me being the professional that I am and sharing information about financial literacy, being a financial literacy educator, being the author of a book, Money Just Flew Out the Window, How to Create a Relationship with Wealth, Living from Paycheck to Paycheck. It is my pleasure to present to you my presentation so that you can get a better understanding about what I do for business and professionally, and to share in my entrepreneurship capabilities and what I'm very, very passionate about. I lost my sister 23 years ago this December, and she passed away with no life insurance. Well, fortunate enough for our family, we didn't have to go out and beg, but we did have to call around, of course. But my dad, he paid for her services. And then later in life, her children got their money together and paid for her a headstone. So I love that. I love to share that story, with you, because, it happens every day to a family out there, that they pass away with no life insurance. I know unexpectedly death happens, and that's the worst thing that you could ever imagine happening to your loved one. I have experience firsthand. I have several classmates that, have reached out to me, for the GoFundMe account. In some cases, I do donate because of knowing their background and knowing how we grew up and knowing where we grew up. It was important for me to support my childhood friends in that way. And then, of course, others whom I've never shared with about the benefits and the purpose of life insurance. And, I'm like, if I never talked to you about it, then, hey, if I never asked you about it, it's a different conversation. It's a different story. There's a lot that a family can do having life insurance and making sure that their family and their legacy lives on for the future. My dad, having that money in the bank, of course, that was not the intention for that money saved, but thank God he saved money. So that's the first thing that I share with people. Save money. That's like number one. Save budget and save money. But you want to save money in your budget. So I like to, always, bring that to mind. So that's a little bit about myself. So let me get this presentation going for you so that I can, share my screen, and share these slides with you so that you can, learn a little bit more about me and see what opportunity we have, out here to possibly work together, because I am a financial wellness consultant. I like to call myself a financial wellness consultant. And this, of course, is a little bit about me. I was born Lilith Janel Pulley. Of course, Janel stuck. My grandmother said, whenever they said, oh, this is Lilith, well, what's the child's other name? So Janel it's stuck. Okay. And all my family and friends call me Janel. I've been in the business insurance marketing since 2002. And I have a property and casualty background. So all my homeowners insurance, renters insurance, car, home, it's and pet insurance and identity theft protection, as well as a conversation that's also near and dear to my heart. I'm a graduate of HBCU. I'm a Hornet. I graduated from Harrisville State College, and now it's a university in St. Louis, Missouri. So I'm very excited about that. And I have an MBA in business leadership. And I also worked on a degree later, master's in teaching and learning with technology. And that's what brings me to, host this podcast and live stream and be online because learning is done through technology these days. You see your YouTube videos all the time. So one unique thing about me, I'm the oldest of 5 children, but I'm the middle child of 10. You know, that's just how it worked out, right? And I believe in financial literacy and building generational wealth. My grandfather, in the Bible, of course, it says, good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And my grandfather and grandmother, they lived by that scripture. And I'm very happy and excited to share that by them laying the foundation back in the 60s and wanting to own something that really leaves our family a legacy. You've heard of the Rockefellers, you've heard of the Vanderbilts, and you've heard of others, that some people are building their empire to leave a family legacy. And even if they don't leave the Hilton Hotel to the children, they still have a great name, that we're all familiar with. And of course, their generational family legacy is going to live through their name. So your name is very important. Your surname, your birth name, your dad's name, your mom's name, your name is so important to carry on that generational legacy and the wealth that you want to build for your family. And of course, I share that I was an author of an Amazon selling book, Money Just Flew Out the Window, How to Create a Relationship with Wealth, Living from Paycheck to Paycheck. And I'm a 5-time survivor of domestic violence, or what we call intimate partner relationship. Yes, I made 5 bad decisions, or I don't know which way it went. They chose me, I chose them. But I got out of the situation alive. So I'm very grateful for that. But money was one of the main reasons that had me stuck in those relationships. And, I want to talk about those. Some people, maybe in a situation where it's like you don't feel like you can get out of it because of money. Well, there are resources available, and you are here right now listening to this, and you may be watching the replay. Thank you so much. Please do share this video, and there is a way out. Sometimes you have to wait on that paycheck. Sometimes you have to wait on your income tax refund, but as long as you have a plan, that is where it all starts. It all starts with your vision and writing it down and having a plan. So that's what I love doing, helping people create a plan. So I'd like for you to consider these questions. Do you know someone who can benefit from this message? If you do, please share this video. Can this information help you, your family, your friends financially? And do you wish to make more wise and more informed decisions for yourself? And are you possibly ready to downsize your debt or eliminate it altogether, either your unsecured or secured debt? But sometimes you want to utilize your debt and leverage your debt to create more wealth for you and your family. So, of course, the purpose of my information that I'm sharing with you today is to provide you strategies that wealthy people use to gain financial independence. This is a great quote by Maxwell Maltz. Realizing that our actions, feelings, and behavior are the result of our own images and beliefs gives us the level of psychology has always needed for changing your personality. So life is changing, but you want to act. Your feelings may be there, and, you want to take action. And then you want to look at what's in your mind. What's your mindset around money? What are your financial beliefs? What are you holding on to? In my book, Money Just Flew Out the Window, I share those things that we were taught about money. Money doesn't grow in trees. When you look out there, of course, I almost got backhanded when I said, well, Mom, when I learned paper was made out of tree pulp. Well, you keep saying money doesn't grow on trees, but money's made out of paper, right? Yes. Well, then why do you always say that, money doesn't grow on trees when paper's made out of tree pulp? So that was a inquisitive question as a young person that, of course, my mother was not fond about, but you get the point. But I explain that all in my book. And do you have all of these financial components under control? Your budget. A budget, of course, is necessary for everyone. And knowing how much you're spending and knowing where you're spending your money, that is number one. And having an income, ask yourself this question: does your income surpass all your bills? Do you have financial woes when bills outpace the income? And I know things are more expensive in grocery stores now. Increased income, lower bills, that would be a better situation for you. But cash flow is, of course, very, very important. And if what we would always say, if you have more money, more month than money, then of course, we are at a deficit and there's a problem. We need to look at opportunities and ways to shave that budget and cut some expenses or spend differently. And when I say spend differently or circulate your money differently, I don't mean stop and going to Starbucks. I just mean go to the grocery store, buy the Starbucks bag and grind it, and then put it in a pot or, put it in your carrot and still enjoy your Starbucks. I'm not telling you get rid of it. Same thing with Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not telling you stop going to Dunkin' Donuts, but you may go to the frozen food section and get the donuts, pop them in your own personal oven, and you have yourself some nice donuts. Of course, creating an emergency fund. I cannot have this conversation with you without having the conversation about saving money for an emergency. Now, we all have a different thought about what an emergency is, of course, and please feel free to share with me and put in the chat, what some emergencies that you may come up with, a flat tire, a motor goes out in your car, hospital bills. What's an emergency to you? And, life is neither perfect nor predictable. And sooner or later, an unexpected expense will occur. Like I shared earlier, my dad's emergency fund. Yes, my sister passing, that was an emergency. That's what that emergency fund was used for. So, and then of course, having a minimal amount of debt. Minimal amount, it's all relative to how much you're making or what you consider minimal debt. And of course, there's the debt to income ratio, that we want to consider. So it's very easy to create more debt than you can handle. And that goes without saying for a lot of us that, we want to avoid debt wherever it's possible, but sometimes debt is there because of you use that credit card for emergency fund purposes. So, like I said, I'm not here to beat anyone up. I'm just here to provide some information and, ask the questions and give you something to think about. So now, as I move right along here, spending, which I like calling circulating money, it's always easy to spend more money than you make. And do you like to purchase items that are out of your income bracket? Saving regularly is very important. Are you saving every percentage of every paycheck? And with the regular savings, anyone can retire in style. I know that it's important. You want to work a job and get vested, get that pension check, but, saving money in your 401k plan or your 403b plan, the regular savings account, your money market account, establish a regular savings plan to become disciplined in how much you can save. It could be 1%, 5%, 10%, whatever your budget will allow. And of course, invest your savings appropriately. So savings is great, but having something beyond a savings account is even more important. And then, of course, your 401k, your 403b, or whatever plan you have at your job. If you do have a plan at your job, you want to look at, are you investing regularly for retirement? So the necessary insurance can prevent financial catastrophe. There are some products out there, guys, that you can get that you don't have to wait till you pass away to take a full advantage of the opportunity that the life insurance policy has. It is actually insurance for the living. So you don't have to wait for you to pass away, leave your money to somebody else. No, it doesn't work that way anymore. So let me know if you want to learn a little bit more about that program, because it's an excellent program, because it takes care of a whole lot of things that you would have an ease of mind about when it comes to, if your heart attack, stroke, those are the top 5 leading causes of death. So when you have a serious illness, fire, or death, it can derail your best plans. And I can attest to you, a friend of mine had a heart attack on the job, and he wasn't worried about nothing. He was like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. My family's good. I'm alive. Praise God. But at the end of the day, he had Aflac. So, and I was just like, oh my gosh, you had coverage. And he was like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, okay, well, that's really, really great. So I'm going to stop the screen share there, and I'm going to share with you that this little clip about September being Life Insurance Awareness Month. I'd like for you to call for a free legacy plan today, a free legacy plan review today. I have a team that is really, really super duper great, awesome team that can really support you and help you in helping you determine some of the things that we spoke about earlier, determine the factors that are important to you, your life, your family, your future. So what is actually important to you when it comes to leaving a legacy for your family? For instance, when we talk about it, it's like you're married, you have a different situation if you're married with children than someone who's single with no kids. I have someone that was a potential client who was single, no children, siblings. And it's like those questions that I asked that person was like, well, who's your favorite sibling that you would want to take care of your home upon your passing? Who would you want to leave it to? Having a will is super duper important. And, I have some friends who sell the Legal Shield, and they provide the will services, the estate planning services with that company. And so I highly recommend obtaining those services. There's also some other estate and will planning. I'll put a link out there for you in the chat. If you're looking at creating an estate for your family, creating a will for yourself, for your family, to leave something to them or leave something behind. What I like to share is that mortgage insurance works 2 ways. Mortgage insurance either insures the mortgage for the lender, or it can insure you. So if you were married, you pass away suddenly, or your spouse, then you have enough money to take care of that mortgage, because that is a huge chunk out of your paycheck. And so you would having 2 breadwinner family, 2 incomes, and now you're down to 1 income. I can assure you that is devastating. That is unimaginable, but it happens, unfortunately. So how will that person sustain themselves for that next, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 years without you? And I'll never forget a friend of mine, mother was in a nursing home, and he's like, oh, we're good. And I was like, gosh, the nursing homes are really expensive. It's like at least $5,000. That's a whole income check for some 2 income households and stuff. And, he was able to share with me that his dad planned for this moment, for this to happen. And he had enough money that he left for his wife to be able to take care of whatever she needed to take care of. And she had more than enough money to take care of herself because she had to go into a nursing home facility, unfortunately, with that family. But just think about, all my caregivers out there. Long-term care insurance is another form of insurance that helps you, take care of your elderly loved ones. And sometimes we don't have to wait that long to become an elderly age to need care. Some people, some children, some families are, caring for their loved one in a way where the long-term care services are needed. They may or may not be able to take on themselves two or three activities of daily living, like clothing yourself, bathing yourself. And those are just a couple just to talk to you about. But if you can't do those things, what you would normally do to function, wake up, put your clothes on, brush your teeth, and all of those activities that we do in our daily routine, there is an insurance policy out there that could support you, support your family, in helping have someone come in and support you with taking care of those things in the home care services. Of course, naturally, if you do not want to go into a nursing home. I know my grandmother preached all the time, I don't want to go into a nursing home. That's the worst thing. She never wanted to go into. She wanted to, be in her own home. And no matter after her heart attack, heart surgery, and everything she had to endure, she did not want to be in anyone's nursing home, because she had a home that she had paid for, and she was like, I'm going to be here in my house. I don't care. I'm not going. She was so resistant to that. So it's kind of like embedded in my head, like, oh, nursing homes. And, they have their positives. And of course, there's some people who just, don't have that part of their care plan. And they're like, nope, somebody needs to come to my house. This is where I'm comfortable. This is where I want to be. And that's perfectly fine. Either way, you want to plan for someone coming to your home when you need the services, and or looking at the opportunity for the nursing home care or assisted living care, because I hear they've ramped up those places where you can be on your own, independent living, and you have it going on in that regard. So but there are insurance programs out there that support you and help you with helping you make those decisions early, so that you'll have the money that you need. This one young lady, her business is built on home care services. And she says, some people pay cash. I'm like, whoa, wow. How does that happen? Some people pay cash because they planned for the future. They plan for it. They save for it. They're using funds from a policy to possibly, pay for that. When you only get certain services paid for by insurance companies, and they have a level where it's like, this is how much you get. Then, of course, look at the opportunity for you to pick up the difference of that, because sometimes you can be more wealthy and not be able to receive services. And whenever that happens, you'll need to pay out of pocket for those services and the things that you need. So I just wanted to share that, as well. There's so much I can talk about, and I don't want to be talking to you, sharing this information through a fire hose. But I do touch on in my book, that money is really not evil. That's one of the chapters. It's one of my favorite chapters. As you may know, that some people have gone around saying, money is the root of all evil. But that's not what the scripture says. I just want you to know that money is not the root of money. Is the root of all evil, but money is not evil itself. And of course, if you study, you look at your financial belief system, you look at your mindset about money, you'll have everything you need, because the scripture says God supplies all my needs according to his riches and glory. So you have the one that supplies all of your needs. So therefore we'll never be without lack for anything in that regard. So September being Life Insurance Awareness Month, there's different forms of life insurance. There's different types of life insurance. A girlfriend of mine just had a little baby. Another friend of mine, he just had a little baby. Baby girls they had. And I'm like, ooh, wow, great. Start saving now for that baby's future. In 18 years, you can imagine you could have an 18-year-old in the next 18 years having their $1 million in an insurance policy where they can use the money from to have their education paid for, to have certain things happen that you may need. I would always think, sit back, watch all these kids in the community. Yeah, they would get a new car whenever they turned 16 or 18. And I was like, how do they do that? How is that possible? Well, I found out they knew about this life insurance plan and they were utilizing it and leveraging it to their advantage to have the needs and necessities to get from point A to point B for their family. So it's not something that's not heard of. Other communities are using it. I'm just sharing it with whomever is at the sound of my voice right now, who it can make a difference for. When you have that baby, get you a policy set up, start saving money now. And you'll have $1 million baby in years to come because of compound interest. So, and then of course the upside of the market when you choose the right program to have your money placed in. So, taking advantage of all the upside of the market, yes, I want to do that. And there's a special policy out there where that is called the Index Universal Life Policy. So all my little babies out there that are being born, hey, get them a policy where you can, put money to the side and start saving money for your loved one early. So if anything should happen, heaven forbid, you'll have what you'll need for your child, or your child will have what they need as well. Because I remember I did stay in the YWCA. So there is a YMCA for men, it's a YWCA for women in St. Louis, Missouri. And one of the girls that were a tenant as well, next to myself, her mother had passed away. She sold the house, she sold the car, cleared everything out. And then she came to live in this facility. She's doing very well for herself now. But it was just like devastating that she had to go through that at a very, very young age. We were teenagers. I say teenagers, but we're on the cusp of being an adult, like 19, 20, 21 years old at this time. And so I was just like, wow, I was just devastated, because it's like, what do you do? The other gentleman I met later, his mother had passed away, and he goes out with life insurance and buys a new Nissan truck. And I was like, wow, that's what you did with the money. And it was like, now he's hustling to make money for whatever his needs are on a daily basis, but he utilized that so that he can get back and forth to the job. It makes sense. It makes really good sense. But I've heard a lot of horror stories about how families utilize money from a life insurance policy after their loved one passed away and may not have made the best choices. But that's why we're here, to support you to make the better choices in life, because the first thing you would want to do for yourself is to make sure you have some life insurance outside of your job. Number one, that job is temporary. That's a term life insurance policy that you have with that company. And what do you mean it's a term life insurance policy I have with that company? That's the benefit they give me. Yes, it's term. For the term that you spend on that job, that's when that insurance policy will be valid. Once you exit on your accord, or they exit on their accord, you from their business, then no more life insurance. So I can say that during the pandemic a few years ago, when it started, and a couple of years ago, I guess it's been a few years now, that one of my good friends and policyholder lost their employment through the COVID. And I was like, wow, the one thing, you were still getting the income from unemployment, so you're able to pay the premium still. So I was like, well, I'm glad she has life insurance in case the worst, God forbid, the worst happened. And so thank God that did not happen. Because they did not get COVID, they did not pass away. However, had they been let go from their job and passed away and didn't have life insurance on their own, it would have been a totally different story. So I just want to put that out there, let you guys know that this is my time, and please do. I don't have this to show you. And remember, September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. Please give me a call at 404-689-8441. I'll put that here at the banner at the bottom. And of course, thank you so much for subscribing to Power Fridays Live and free financial legacy, free financial family plan. Call 404-689-8441. We can definitely meet virtually. Whatever your needs are. I would love to meet with you virtually and or face-to-face, whatever you prefer. I do still mask up because that's important to me, to be healthy, remain healthy, and make sure that you remain healthy as well. So we can help people with diabetes. We can help people who are taking medications, whatever your situation, personal situation is, there's no one out there that we can't cover. And there's a different plan and program for people who, may be incarcerated because their situation is a little different. So, we even have a solution for them. I'm not saying it's life insurance. I'm saying that it's a potential solution for them. And of course, if I can't help you, if I make the recommendations, and when you do the math, what they say, math be mathin', or make the math make sense for having a life insurance policy. And in some cases, you can definitely consider it investment because, when you put the money into it, you definitely will reap the benefits of getting more money out of it. And the last little cheerleading that I like to, place with my family. I'm very, happy. I love my family. Guess what? They live to be 100 years old. I have like 4 or 5 centenarians in my family. So it's really beautiful to know that we're living to be 100, y'all. So it's possible for someone to live to be 100 and years of age. And so when that happens, the insurance company signs you over the check. No more life insurance payments, buddy. You're 100 years old. Here you go. You get that money. The full face amount sent directly to you on the anniversary of your 100th birthday. So you can say that the life insurance paid off when you live to be 100 years old. So please do take care of yourself. Please do the best you can in making sure that you remain in good health and have the greatness that you desire, because the greatness is in you. I am Janel Pulley, the author of Money Just Flew Out the Window, How to Create a Relationship with Wealth, Living from Paycheck to Paycheck. You can get the book and find it on Amazon and read it. A lot of good will come out of it. Thank you so much for listening to Power Fridays Live, and we'll be back next week with an amazing entrepreneur. Happy September, and remember, we love you, and please love on your loved one, because the love letter that you would like for them to leave you, that I would encourage you to leave the love letter of life insurance. Thank you, and have a great evening. See you next week.